Alright class, so now I'm going to go ahead and go over the row reduced echelon form, the RREF method to finding out our equation. So basically, to just recap, this is actually, if you look in the videos, this is actually a table and problem that I did. And the very first, if you look at my videos, it's called Finite Difference Method Part 1. And basically, we took the finite difference, and it took us, we had to take the finite difference twice, which is why I have D2 here. And that told us, remember, that when we find out whatever that finite difference is, however many times we took it, in this case, in this problem, it took us twice to get a constant rate of change of 4, I believe. If it took us twice to get that finite difference, that tells us that our polynomial is degree 2. So now that we know our polynomial is degree 2, remember that the next step is, well, we have a table, we have data points, we know the finite method gives us what degree our polynomial is, so now we want to find out what the equation is. So to kind of help us understand how to get that equation, we want to use something called matrices. I'm going to help you set it up. I'm not going to actually show you how to do it on your calculator because I actually don't have one of the calculators, the yellow calculators with me, but I feel like it's more important right now to show you how to set it up and why it works, so some of you can just get that understanding. So the first thing I want to do is I actually just want to set up my matrix. Okay. If we know that my polynomial is degree 2, that tells me by definition, remember, I hope you still have your starter, it tells us that a polynomial has a degree, and the degree is the highest exponent on that polynomial. That means that the exponent, x raised to whatever power, in this case it's 2, that's the highest it's going to be. So here we're going to get a x squared. Remember, this is degree 2. The highest exponent has to be 2. And then if you look at the definition, remember that we're always just going to continue to subtract by 1. So what's 2 minus 1? Well, that's just 1. So we get bx to the 1 power. And then we get plus c. And remember, this is going to be x to the, well, what's 1 minus 1? That's right, 0. Anything raised to 0 is 1, but I'm going to leave it here just to show you why this works. And then we know that's equal to f of x. F of x is our output. I'm gonna make my matrix just a tiny bit bigger. There we go. Now in this problem, we want to find out. Now actually what I'm going to do is, since I hope you're able to write all this information down, real quick before I do that, I want to remember that how many things are we trying to find out? We're trying to find out what A is, what B is, what C is. So if we have 3 unknowns, we have 3 variables that we're trying to figure out. That tells us how many points we need to pick. So we need to find 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, 3 variables. So we need to pick how many points? You're correct. You're 100% correct. We need to pick 3 points. So I'm going to put it right here. So I'm going to pick the point 2, it's up here, 2, my output is 12. Remember, this is my x, my input, this is my output. I'm just going to go ahead and pick these first 3, and then we have 3. And my input's 3, my output is 19. Okay, my input's 3, my output's 19, and then I'm going to pick this next one, 4. So we get 4. My input's 4. What's my output? That's right, that's 30. So I'm going to put that right there. This is x. This is f of x. Okay, now I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So I hope you got all that information down. Right there. Good. Let me just zoom in, make sure this is perfect. Okay. Sorry about that. That's my girlfriend calling. I'll pick her up in a minute because I want to make sure I get this video done first. So what we want to do to set this matrix up is we notice that a little bit. All we need to do now is let's set up this first row. So we have 2, okay? So we're gonna plug in 2 for my input here. 2 is my x, is my input, so it goes in here. So this is gonna be 2 squared. Then we have 2 that's gonna go in here. So 2 raised to the 1 power, well that's just 2. then we're going to have 2 that goes into this x value. 2 to the 0 power, right? We're going to plug in 2 for x, so 2 to the 0 power, well, anything raised to the power of 0 is 1. So 2 to the 0, well, that's just going to be 1. So I put that down here, 1. And now my output when my input's 2, right? So I plug in 2 for x, I get 2 squared, and here I just get 2 and I get 1 because 2 raised to the 0 is 1. My output is 12, so I put 12 here. Now I'll go ahead and do that with the next point. I plug in 3 for my input, so 3 in for x, so I get 3 squared. Here I put in 3 for my x, well that's 3 to the 1 power, so that's just 3. Here I put in 3 for x, but 3, so we have x to the 0, but so we plug in 3 here, so we get 3 to the 0 power, but anything raised to the 0 is 1, so 3 to the 0 is just 1. My output is what? My output, when my input's 3, my output's 19, so my output goes right here. Okay, now let's go down to the next point. We plug in 4 for my input. My x value is 4, so I plug in 4 in for here, so we get 4 squared. I plug in 4 in for here, I just get 4. And I plug in 4 in for here, which is going to be 4 raised to the 0. But 4 raised to the 0 is just 1. So we get 1 here. And now my output is 30. So this is how you would perfectly set up a matrix on your to show your work. Now if you need to remember how to put it in your calculator, maybe tomorrow I'll get a calculator and show you. But if you know how to, go ahead and do that. If not, I'll make sure come and see me and we can go over that. Thank you.